Let's get straight to CNN's Jeff Zeleny live in Atlanta with the latest. Jeff, a very tight race down there.
Alex, good morning. You could hear the concern there and see the concern from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. And that reflects what Democrats here in Georgia are saying as well. They are concerned about this Senate race and so many other places across the country. That is exactly why former President Barack Obama is beginning his final week-long push here in Georgia tonight, trying to rally Democrats and push them to the polls.
You have the power to change America.
Barack Obama is heading back to the campaign trail, firing up Democrats in the final push of the fall election.
Hello, Atlanta.
Starting in Georgia tonight, he's hitting at least 5 states, hoping to stop or slow the prospect of a Republican wave in November. It's familiar terrain for the former president, who for weeks has been popping up in television ads and campaign videos across the country.
Pennsylvania, it's up to you. You can count on John Fetterman. Wisconsin, you've got a big responsibility this year. Gretchen Whitmer is Michigan tough. Katie Hobbs is up to the challenge. This is going to be a close race, and we can't afford to get it wrong. Vote Democrat on November 8th.
Don't boo! Don't boo!
He's still one of the most popular figures in his party, going where President Biden is far less welcome by Democrats this year.
I am fired up. Are you fired up?
Of course, it wasn't always that way, like when Obama faced a punishing midterm election of his own back in 2010, losing 63 seats and control of the House, 6 Senate seats, and devastating defeats in state capitals.
I'm not recommending for every future president that they take a shellacking like I did last night. I'm sure there are easier ways to learn these lessons.
And again in 2014.
Obviously, Republicans had a good night, and they deserve credit for running good campaigns.
His track record has been far better when his own name is on the ballot, but he's answering the call from Democrats. His itinerary begins tonight in Georgia, followed by visits to Michigan and Wisconsin on Saturday, Nevada on Tuesday, and a likely trip to Pennsylvania for the final weekend of the race. Congresswoman Nikema Williams, who leads the Georgia Democratic Party, said Obama has a unique ability to motivate and make the case for Democrats.
We've been trying to encourage people to go out and vote early, and so he can help us drive that message home and drive home what's at stake for not just our base, but younger voters who remember some of the excitement around his election.
Obama is hitting a handful of states with competitive races, targeting not only contests that will help determine control of the House and Senate, but also campaigns for governor and secretary of state, roles that often oversee elections.
It's a reminder that democracy is fragile, that you have to tend to it, you have to fight for it.
Protecting democracy and election integrity have become a key focus since leaving the presidency. Advisors tell CNN it will be a central message for voters at his campaign rallies.
Hello, everybody. Hey.
His travels come after already casting his ballot, which he and former First Lady Michelle Obama did last week in Chicago.
You know, I do kind of miss the regular punch thing. That was fun. You know, like punch, get out some aggression.
So in the White House, midterm elections were never exactly Barack Obama's strong suit. Of course, that famous comment back in 2010, the shellacking the Democrats received, of course, they hope that is not a replay this year. But the reality is Democrats are concerned about the House and indeed the Senate. It is why Mr. Obama coming here to Georgia trying to fire up Democrats. It's all about getting out the early vote and turnout. So he begins that effort here tonight in Atlanta. Alex and Brianna.
Yeah, major fears of a shellacking. All right, Jeff Zeleny in Atlanta, thanks so much.
And joining us now, we have CNN's chief political correspondent and co-anchor of State of the Union, Dana Bash. And Dana, you've been traveling to a lot of these states where there are competitive races. Can you just give us an overview of where things are?
People are, I know this is breaking news because you haven't been covering this at all on the show. People are really, really anxious, really anxious. You know, I've been thinking about this. How many campaigns have we covered where we focus on gas prices? We focus on the jobs report, you know, sort of the economic indicators that come out that the political consultants go, ugh. This is different, at least in my political career, in that political journalistic career, in that I have not had the sense, like I have now, that people are genuinely worried about the basics, the real kitchen table things, literally. Eggs up 30%, milk, all of the things in their lives. And then if you kind of go up a notch, I've spent time with small business owners. It's them trying to not just make payroll, but also try to figure out if they raise their prices because all of their expenses are higher and so on and so forth. So it's really in every facet of voters' lives and their everyday lives, the fundamentals, the basics. And so the question is whether or not the people who are kind of historically on the fence are going to take that ballot and use it as a weapon against the people in power just because they're so angry and so anxious.
Of course, so much hanging in the balance for Democrats. But as we've gotten closer to Election Day, so many of these races have tightened up. The Senate race in Ohio, the Senate race in Georgia, the gubernatorial race in New York. Did you expect it to come down to the wire in the way that it is?
Kind of, because a lot of these states, Georgia, Arizona, we've seen this so many times where those races sometimes are not called for days, even longer. Even New Hampshire, the incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan, people thought once Don Bolduc, her Republican opponent, won the primary, he is somebody who he switched his tune, but in the primary, he was very much an election denier, very Trumpy, which works in a primary, but not necessarily in a pretty purple state like New Hampshire. He's closing in on Maggie Hassan, and Republicans there are actually feeling bullish about him. We'll see. So it's because of what we talked about before, because of the feeling out there. It's also because of what Jeff was just reporting on. It's history. It's just the way things tend to be, which is the party in power, particularly, well, the party in the White House, the president of the White House, tends to lose seats, sometimes a lot of seats, in his first midterm. And so this is maybe gravity taking hold. We'll see. A lot of these Democrats could definitely come out on top. And that is why you're seeing President Obama in particular out there really trying to goose the turnout, because that is what matters now. It's cliche, but it's a cliche because it happens to be true.
Today in Philadelphia, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are set to make a rare joint appearance together to drum up support for John Fetterman in the critical Pennsylvania Senate race. CNN's Arlette Saenz is live at the White House with more. Arlette, this is a big display of support for Fetterman.
Yeah, it is, Alex. And President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will be speaking at a fundraising dinner for the Pennsylvania Democratic Party. The Democrats expect will raise about $1 million for their party this evening. But it's also going to offer the president an opportunity to once again reinforce his messaging when it comes to the economy, as he's seeking to draw a contrast with Republicans on things like prescription drugs, Social Security and Medicare, and also taxes. And yesterday, campaigning in Syracuse, New York, President Biden spoke very starkly about the threat he believes Republicans pose to the economy, in this instance when it comes to raising the debt ceiling.
Unless we yield to the demands to cut Social Security and Medicare, they're determined to cut Social Security and Medicare, and they're willing to take down the economy over it. There is nothing that would create more chaos or do more damage to the American economy than that happening, if it were to happen.
Now, this comes as the White House is keenly aware of the economic anxiety that so many Americans are feeling, and the president trying to really lean in to his arguments that Republicans will pose a greater threat to the economy if they take control of the House and Senate.
And Arlette, how much more are we going to see the president on the campaign trail before the midterms?
Well, today's appearance in Pennsylvania marks the president's 19th trip to the Commonwealth since taking office. He'll be there boosting John Fetterman, also Shapiro, the Democratic nominee for governor, as well as other candidates. And then tomorrow he's actually set to early vote in his home state of Delaware. And next week he'll be hitting the campaign trail, traveling down to Florida. That's the state he's been trying to make a political event appearance at for quite some time. The first one canceled when he had COVID, then later canceled due to the hurricane. He will be campaigning there with Charlie Crist, the nominee for governor, as well as Val Demings, the nominee for Senate. Next week, later in the week, he will head to New Mexico, a state you don't typically see a president going to in the final weeks before the election. Before wrapping things up, he's expected to have an appearance in Pennsylvania in that final weekend of the campaign, as he is trying to boost those candidates there in a state where they feel that they could possibly be helpful to the Democrats.
All right, very busy few days ahead. Arlette Saenz, the White House. Thanks very much.